Hello and welcome to Assay TV. Today I'm here talking to Manganese, and we have their president and CEO, Marco Romero, to tell you a little bit about the company. Marco, good to see you here today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for the opportunity, Leo.
If we could start by, if you could just give us a little summary of the company and the project in sort of 30 seconds.
The company's about 5 years old, and during that period we have been working on the evaluation planning of a major high purity manganese production facility in the Czech Republic, which is based on the recycling of a major manganese carbonate deposit in the Czech Republic, and which we believe stands to become Europe's first and only primary producer of these products, just at a time when there is a major growth in demand for these products, not only in Europe, but in North America and Asia as well.
Sure. And I believe you've just recently started officially the search for sort of key development partners for the project. How's that going?
We just announced the beginning of a process last Thursday in which we are now formally seeking expressions of interest in, if you want, accelerating our engagement with a number of parties. This was driven largely by quite a bit of inbound interest that we've received recently in participating in the project. It varies from securing product from us at the time when we would go in production to investing, collaborating on many levels. So in order to make sure that we really explored our options, we launched and announced this process.
Mm. And you've been working on your feasibility study, I understand. What stage are you at with that?
Right now, it's test work, the confirmation and optimization test work, which followed by the detailed engineering, if you want, of the process flow sheet, the cost estimation. Our goal is to have that completed early in 2021.
Mm. And obviously a key part of your project is the fact that you're reprocessing these old mine tailings. So positive impact on the local community, yeah?
Very much so. This is a significantly impacted former mining site where these tailings accumulated between 1951 and 1975, at a time when environmental standards were quite different. So the tailings are essentially unlined and leaching metals into the environment. One of the great collateral benefits of this project is that we expect we will remediate the site effectively, leaving it in compliance with modern European and Czech environmental standards, regulations. So there is a true win there for the local community, largely because we will stop the pollution that continues to this day.
Mm. And you're working on your environmental impact assessment now, yeah?
Yeah, we are well advanced. There's been 4 years of work that's now coming to a head. We're about 99% complete. We're now in the final stages of polishing and crafting the document, which is our EIA notification, which we plan to file this month, in fact, triggering then the permitting process for this very advanced project.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit about the high purity manganese market. What are the key sort of barriers to entry for this market? What gives you the advantage?
Well, there's a number of them. It's, one, extremely difficult to produce materials of the purity and consistency required by tier 1 battery manufacturers, because purity is important. It confers performance, safety features to the batteries that use these. So the challenge is very much on achieving consistently that purity. And that's something we feel very strong and confident about because we've done an enormous amount of test work. We've run a pilot plant and we're able to produce repeatedly extraordinary products. On the other side, manganese products of this type can be produced, but also if one is not careful, with significant environmental impacts. You know, the legacy issues around production of these can be severe. And what we have done is design all this to to extraordinary standards. And I must admit, we are blessed with the fact that we don't have to mine anything. We don't have to create any new waste. We're essentially reprocessing old waste, getting these very high quality products out of there, and then ultimately leaving the site in better condition than it is today. And the fact that we are using manganese carbonate, which is what the primary minerals in the ore are, makes it that much easier because we do not require any roasting or any chemical reduction, and we don't end up with the energy intensity, emissions, and waste management issues that come with using other ore types.
I mean, typically, where do high purity manganese products come from?
Well, 93% approximately of the high purity manganese product production today takes place in China. It's largely from imported ore that comes from largely South Africa. Then there is some production in Africa and a little bit in Europe, which both are essentially processing ore that is brought into processing facilities.
And at the moment, obviously in Europe, you've got a lot of car manufacturers. They're looking to produce EVs, probably looking to source their manganese locally and from an environmentally sustainable source.
Yeah, it's been well reported. Many of the OEMs, the automotive companies, the battery companies are intent on seeing a true European battery supply chain emerge. And that's been strongly supported by the European Union and European governments. So we're seeing a great deal of interest in this project, moving ahead.
So what are we looking for in the few months ahead?
Well, the big one for us is the culmination of all the environmental studies, all the baseline studies, all the planning, all the engineering, the design of this project being then summarized as an environmental impact assessment. And the notification is due to be filed this month. That's a huge milestone for us. 4 years of work, many millions of dollars in the making. And beyond that, the ongoing process to see this project bring in the proper partner or partners, it will be unfolding. We'll see how long that takes and where that takes us. And then there's quite a lot of work going with customers as well, who are looking at procuring products at the right time. So we already have 5 MOUs signed with major players, major international players, and hope to have more of those as well.
Fantastic. So lots of news flow in the offing. We look forward to hearing more as the story develops. But thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you very much, Leo.